Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought once again that I'd bring you something a little different, and I wanted to show you how to do this holographic makeup choker. Now this idea came to me in a dream, and in my dream it was like this crazy looking holographic choker, and it was like all made of makeup. My makeup was all coordinating with it and it looked super cool, and I was like, dang, that is awesome. I should totally do a makeup look like that. And then I decided from there I'm actually going to do a whole series of makeup chokers like this. So if you want to see how that turns out, go ahead and follow my Instagram page. It's going to be the same name as my channel here. It's going to be Andeedoll. And I'm going to do pictures and maybe some shorter Instagram videos for the rest of them, but I wanted to do one full-length video where I did some makeup and a choker that was all like coordinating and whatever. Yeah, so I thought that was a really cool idea. If you want to see how I did this, go ahead and keep on watching. If you like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel to see more videos. Thank you guys for watching, and let's get started. Okay, to start out, I'm going to be using the NYX Cosmetics Jumbo Pencil in Milk to lay down the base for our choker. So everything we do after this is going to be built on this centerpiece. So trying to kind of map out exactly where I want it to be, making sure it's even all the way around and just looks like a straight bar right around the neck. You know, just like a choker. You feel me? See where we're going with this? We're making a choker. That's why we're here today. Alright, so moving on. Anyways, I'm cleaning up the choker using a makeup wipe and a brush to kind of clean up the edges, blend out that white cream makeup, and make it look even. Now we're going to set that white cream base with the SUGARPILL eyeshadow in Ice Angel, and this shadow is so pretty. It kind of gave it a blue holographic shift in person. It didn't quite pick up like that in camera, but I just basically wanted to make sure I'm setting down that white cream makeup so it doesn't budge. Now taking the COZZETTE D230 brush, which is just a small eyeshadow smudger brush, any brush will do. I'm going to take the Poison Plum eyeshadow from SUGARPILL, and I'm going to start blending that along the very edge of the choker. I'm trying to create a gradient effect that you see on the bottom half of the choker, so we're basically just going to make sure a majority of the pigment is right along that edge, and then softly blend it out to create that gradient effect. Moving along to the COZZETTE number 5 brush, this is just a fluffier brush, so it'll kind of make the pigment go on a little more soft. We're going to create the gradient effect you see here. Now I need to take a minute and pause. Basically what happened when I was filming this video is that my camera would randomly automatically stop the recording. I couldn't figure out why it was doing it, so I lost a little bit of my footage, and this might happen one or two other times during this video, but I will pause it and explain what I did, but you didn't really miss too much, honestly. All I did here was take that fluffy COZZETTE brush, a little bit of the Poison Plum pigment, and blend it out a little bit to kind of create that gradient effect. And play. We can start the video again. Next I took the SUGARPILL Cosmetics Loose Pigment in Lumi and I pressed it over the top of the purple eyeshadow. Now remember when I said that I lost some other footage? I lost all this footage as well. So that's why I'm kind of explaining. I just pressed it over the top. I don't have footage to show you, but it just created a nice base for the glitter that's to come up next. And what do you know, here's that glitter. So this is the LIT Cosmetics glitter in X-ray size 4. The size just means that this is a larger cut of that glitter, and the LIT Cosmetics glitter in Margarita. And I mixed those two together in a lid to create my own custom glitter. Check this out, check this out. Ooh, look how pretty that is. When I focused the camera, it made it look super cool. Alright, back to work. So with the LIT Cosmetics Clearly Liquid Glitter Base, I dipped my brush into the adhesive, dipped it into my glitter creation, and I basically did the same thing as I did with the purple eyeshadow, where I concentrated a majority of the glitter right along that edge, and then once I kind of built up that glitter, I used the excess left over on the brush and kind of dragged it down using a patting motion, so it created a gradient effect with the glitter as well. Once you've done the top and bottom, it should look a little something like this. Now on to the really fun part. So I took the House of Lashes lash adhesive and some pearls I bought from Michael's, and starting from the center of my neck, working my way outward to make sure I have even spacing, I begin to glue on the pearls on the bottom and then the top line. As you can see, for the top line I kind of mastered my technique with the tweezers, so I'm not struggling as much. Once you finish that part, hopefully your fingers aren't glued to the tweezers and you can still do spirit fingers as you show off your choker. For the last step of the choker, all I'm doing is using a little bit of House of Lashes lash glue, and on small sections I put a little bit of the lash glue, let it get tacky, and then I'm using a holographic confetti that I picked up from Michael's as well, and I stick it over the top of that. Sometimes you have to cut the confetti down a little bit and make sure it lays down nice and flat. And as a side note, I just want to mention you'll probably want to wear your hair down because we aren't doing the very back of our neck, but I am kind of going around the edges to make sure it looks like it's pretty much all the way around my neck. Now we're done with the choker and we're going to move on to the makeup. Starting out with Makeup Geek eyeshadow in Peach Smoothie, which is my favorite transition of life, by the way. I begin to build up that color in my crease to add a little bit of warmth. Follow that up with Simply Marlena, which is just a really pretty hot pink eyeshadow. I begin to blend out and build up that color, so just keep going back and forth, building it up and blending it out. Once you've reached the optimal hot pink perfection, you're going to go in with a slightly darker pink shade. Now I know what you're going to say, Andy, this eyeshadow looks almost identical to the last one you used. And that's where you're wrong, my friend. It's all about the build-up. Or at least that's what she said. You know, this is just a perfect example of the things I tell myself as I spend 2 hours blending out 32 eyeshadows for every single eye look I do. Anyways, jokes aside, the reason I do this is to add a lot of depth and dimension to my eye looks. It just makes your eyes look a little more deep set and your shadows look a little more blended. Once I'm happy with that blend, I'm using the Merle Norman Creamy Concealer to do a half-cut crease on my lid. Something about a half-cut crease just really pulls an eye look together for me. I think it's so pretty. To set that cut crease and to go along with our holographic theme, I'm using the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in Backlight, and I'm going to spray my brush first with some setting spray, pick up that eyeshadow, and then press it onto the lid, and this just really helps those shimmery shadows to stand out a little bit brighter. To really master the half-cut crease look, I'm taking a little bit of that crease shade and blending it over the top of that holographic eyeshadow. And then to make the holographic effect pop a little bit more, I'm adding SUGARPILL Lumi Pigment just to the center of my lid. Top it off with some black winged eyeliner. I'm using the Stila Cosmetics liquid liner in black, and then moving on to the bottom of the eye. In my waterline, I'm using this lime green shadow stick in the waterline just for a fun pop of color, and then I'm taking those crease shades, which I think was Simply Marlena and Fashion Addict, and I'm blending that underneath my lash line. And last but certainly not least, the inner corner highlight. I'm just using a little bit of the SUGARPILL Lumi Pigment and patting that all around the inner corner. I feel like this just really ties the whole look together. To finish off this look, I just popped on some lashes and added my lipstick, and you are all done. Let me know what you think about my makeup choker idea in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and remember to follow my Instagram account if you want to see the rest of my makeup choker series. Thank you so much, guys, again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.